reputations, and you show a shot of Clint Boyer on the heels of the Radioactive piece. I mean, it all kind of ties together, doesn't it?
You mean on the heels of Radioactive since it began? He's always
Right.
a star of that show.
I think he's won in back-to-back weeks. Cole Pern was on with us this week, and he used the Kyle Busch quote. All he does is win, win, win when it comes to Radio Sweetheart. They haven't won yet, but they're knocking on the door, talking about the 39 Ryan Sieg. We saw them there, and there's what they have probably in a lot of different circumstances, Michael.
Yeah, only top car that I see with more laps is Kaz Gralla. We know Kaz, he needed a little bit of warming up. Didn't take him long to warm up, though. He hopped right up into the top 5. Third fastest is Kaz, and there's our driver's seat guy.
Yeah, we're going to go from the driver's seat tomorrow as a part of our race coverage at 1 Eastern time on FS1 with Ryan Sieg. He's a new young father, got 3 girls, but they had a baby in the off season, and just a good family, all about the right things. And I was talking to his crew in the garage this morning. They said, you know what we love about him? He takes care of the race car. Very rarely is there a scratch on these things when we get back to the shop.
And that has a lot to do with the name of the team, Ryan Sieg Racing. He knows if he doesn't take care of it, who's going to pay the bills. And I'm sure Dad Rod makes sure he understands that this team has to operate on a budget. And their budget isn't as big as some of the other teams in the garage area. And they do a great job of stretching every dollar. Rod really is committed to this team. And Ryan, like you said, behind the wheel just does a nice job.
Joey Gase in that same category doesn't want to interrupt the progress of the race team by crashing a vehicle week to week, and so he typically does a really good job of taking care of that 35. So we'll be back with Xfinity Series final practice in 90 minutes on deck, qualifying for the Gander Outdoors Truck Series race that you'll see live later tonight on FS1. And also a part of our plan is Monster Energy Series qualifying, and we talked about the issues for JD Motorself solidly inside the top 10, and for all intents and purposes appears to have a really fast race car.
39 car of Ryan Sieg. This is a team that just keeps on impressing us every week. 11th is his worst run of the season, and man, these guys, they've had some runs where you just look back and you say, hey, it's great to see them stepping up, and he's going to be in the driver's seat for us this weekend. So we'll get to talk to Ryan. I'm looking forward to that because he's a quieter guy outside of the race car. I can't wait to hear how he is inside that race car.
But he's a guy that, while he is quiet, if you get a chance to visit with him in the garage, you find out real quick he's got his head on straight. And I made the comment earlier that the team loves him because he never brings the car back with a scratch on it. And Michael was quick to point out it's because he kind of helps produce the funds for this team. And with that, he's extra motivated to make sure there's never any damage, Jamie.
And so is his crew chief, Shane Wilson. I talked to him for a little bit. He's been in this series for a long, long time. And he said, it's really refreshing to come back. I was kind of burnt out on racing. To come back and work with this small team. They have 8 employees. He said he's under that car. He's welding on it. And he also told me they only have 3 good cars right now. So their whole idea in a weekend and how they approach practice, they just want to focus on the race. Let's be race ready and race fast. Not focus on qualifying or practice. We'll just make sure our car is good because they cannot take risks.
Well, and to follow up on what Jamie just said right there, the 3 good cars, meaning that's 3 of the cars they were able to get from Richard Childress Racing. This team's already thinking ahead, though, towards the playoffs. That's how much confidence they have in what they're doing this year, and they're trying to figure out how can we get another car right before the playoffs that's more updated and it's a little bit more current for us.
His crew chief is Shane Wilson. 2 wins here in the Xfinity Series with Kevin Harvick. And he and Brendan Gaughan teamed up to win 4 in a row in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series.
They went on a hot streak that was very impressive, and there was a time period where those 2 guys were unbeatable at this racetrack, meaning Brendan Gaughan and Shane Wilson. And Brendan, he had a lot of fun when he got those wins.
And if Kyle Busch's people are hearing this conversation, they're like, that's nothing. He won 5 in a row in the Xfinity car here from like 08 to 2010, I think.
Chase Briscoe continuing to try and find some speed with that race car, 17th on board. As we see right there, just something they need to get figured out pretty soon because it's going to be race time pretty soon.
And you know what? They weren't great 2 Fridays ago at California in practice and somehow managed to get
Last lap. And like I said, he didn't even get on it hard until the middle of the back straightaway. So maybe a little information there that the teams will have to look at.
just past halfway in round 1. Only 2 rounds today because of the weather and the changing schedule. And let's take a look at Ryan Sieg. He's out trying to make his lap. You want to get heat in the tires, but you don't need this. He got held up by the 78 here.
Well, that's when you have to call an audible and know that you've thrown this lap away. Make sure you get around the 78, get on your way, and you're going to have to run another lap.
And that's Vinnie Miller in the 78 driving for B.J. McLeod. Day afternoon live on FS1. So Ryan Sieg is off to an amazing start when you look at 2019. Never has he been able to accomplish what he's done through 5 races. His average finish is 8.4. And when you look at his history, it's all about family. He and his dad have been competing together for a long time, and now he's a family man. Got 3 kids of his own. Let's go from the driver's seat with a driver from Georgia. That would be Ryan Sieg, starting 19th today. Kevin?
Hey Ryan, this is Kevin up in the Fox booth. We've got some cooler weather today. We've got some PJ1 on the racetrack. How do you see all that affecting your day today?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge to keep up with the track and the changing conditions all day, but we're up for the challenge. We're a little farther back than we thought we should have been, but I got caught speeding up pit road, and then we got trapped behind somebody on our next lap, so should be fun passing some cars and seeing how the track changes.
Well, hey, Ryan, this is Austin Dillon, and I know you got a lot of experience on the box with Shane Wilson and a couple of guys from RCR. How exciting has it been this year working with those guys?
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. They're great. You know what I mean? We got a good group of guys and good ECR motors and good RCR cars, and it's been exciting to go to the track each week and contend for top 10s, and hopefully we'll get another one today.
Well, awesome, man. We're looking forward to watching you come through the field.
Thanks. Appreciate it to all the new sponsors also with CMR this weekend. They're a new one for us, so couldn't do it without them.
Starting grid is in left of your screen, and Austin Minston, the new crew chief there, Shane Wilson, he's won here twice in Xfinity with you, Kevin, so he knows his way to victory lane as we get set for the green.
Top groove.
Here's a look at what happened to Cendric. Was 12th, now he's 18th.
Same problem Brad was dealing with. Get a guy underneath you, and he's a little too loose, and use the 22 to slow himself down.
The key to winning this race is staying up front and getting a good restart.
So Austin Cendric back down pit road. Let's learn more about the 20-year-old. There's going to be 3 laps to go when we finish up stage 2. Ryan Sieg stayed out. So did Ross Chastain and Justin Haley. Now they're on much older tires. But if they can hang on, and we know that track position means a lot, they could collect some stage points here. Unlikely they're going to hold off Kyle Busch and the others on those fresh tires, but they might be able to steal some points here at the end of stage 2.
Every point matters, and when you look at these 2 guys, if they can get, 3 or 4 points out of this and gain something from this stage, they're going to wind up being in the exact same spot that they were after we go back into the final stage here. So it'll be interesting. I think the first corner will definitely have a lot to do with it if they're side by side still, because of the fact that there's the opportunity to get loose on the inside, and the outside has been the lane that succeeded last time. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. They're definitely at a disadvantage.
Chastain came in 8 points below the cut line, so he no doubt would love to pick up some stage points here.
I think it's a good call for the 39. Where they were running, you could get more points and make a better day for yourself when you leave this place with adding these stage points as a bonus.
And a lot of it just comes down to the break right here. If you can break out from that pack and the chaos for a lap or 2, you're going to get a little bit of distance. So if he can break clear of that 4, he can get a little distance, I think.
You got the green button.
And if the 18 and 9 get trapped, that would help him out as well.
Yep.
The push here is going to mean something, I feel like, also.
3 laps to go.
Bumper group, bumper, still there, bumper, quarter, clear, 2 back.
Sieg jumps out
Take
front.
March pull away.
Well, that's exactly what I was talking about. If that 4 could hold up the 18 and he could get clear, he's bought himself a little bit of time right here. And we see Kyle struggling a little bit in that top lane. It's got to be from the front tires, not gripping in that traction compound.
Yep.
I said he likely won't win the stage. Did I sell him short here? 2 to go.
He did, man. I'm really pumped about this. Seeing Ryan Sieg out front here with 2 to go. He can carry this bonus point into the playoffs if he's able to hold on to this lead.
Great call by crew chief Shane Wilson. As you see the 7 of Justin Allgaier get out of shape, racing the 0-0 of Cole Custer.
And you see so many cars that are just out of control right now as we're on this restart. A lot of loose cars, a lot of tight cars, a lot of things happening on the restart from a handling perspective.
Christopher Bell won our first stage from the pole. Stage 2 looks like it's going to go to Ryan Sieg, who has never won a stage in his Xfinity career. This is really fun to watch, and Ross Chastain hanging on to second.
Battling hard.
Chastain has competed in every NASCAR event this year. Gander Outdoors Truck Series, Xfinity, and Monster Energy NASCAR Cup. He's going to be second in stage number 2 to Ryan Sieg, who sees the green and white checkered flag. Congratulations to him in that race team. So many good things happening for him in 2019.
And it all worked out really, really well for him right there. He got a good restart on the bottom, and the 4 was able to hold that outside line up.
And Reddick hangs on for 3rd. He'll be the race leader when we start the final stage. Could be big for him. We're back after a break. Going for win number 1 in the Xfinity Series. Sieg is now going to get his service, Jamie.
So impressed with Ryan Sieg and what he's done this season and today especially. One of 3 race cars in the fleet for Sieg Racing. The car's pretty good, not loose, very neutral. They're going to leave it alone. Ross Chastain on the right side looking for his first top 10 ever here in an Xfinity car. Finished 7th in the Truck Series race.
Hey, Ryan, this is the Fox booth. Congratulations on winning that stage, man. That was awesome. Tell us about the decision to stay out there and what winning the stage means to your team.
Yeah, that's huge to get up front and show that, you know, I mean, we didn't lose anything, and cars passed. Just got to get the track position. Just being in traffic and trying to pass people is very hard right now. And the car's gotten better. We've gotten a better all race, and yeah, that was huge for us.
Well, congratulations, man. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I talked about this prior to the break a while.
Trucks and the Cup Series, but it seems like these guys are having a harder time running the outer groove at the beginning of a run. You saw in the Truck Series last night, guys could run side by side for a couple laps out there. And these cars seem to not have had that best of luck running it until late in the run, like we're talking about when the traction compound gets the heat in it. I'm sure the 9 will start working back forward later in the run.
Let's update the 39 of Ryan Sieg. Wins stage 2, gives up all that track position when he makes a pit stop. They're right back in the game here in 12th.
Well, he got that stage point and you know, the bonus point that goes with that. And I think, you know, that was a win-win for them. I think they're running about where they were running before they stayed out and won that stage. So
Action was 14th, so he's +2.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit fresher tires maybe and had a good restart.
Casgrala is 14th, and there's a reason why, losing some positions just outside the top 10.